Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Mumslife podcast. If you are joining us, thank you very much for coming. If you've watched the last episode or listened to the last episode, then thank you. If you haven't, you can pop over, find it on the YouTube with this one, and also I'll give you a bit of a backstory about why we're here as well. So I'm Jessie. I am the creator of Mumslife, and this is Saz, my mum. So our topic today, Saz, I went for well-being. I put a few things out on the Instagram, like some questions, just like I did last time. So I'll read them out. You can have a little guess at which one won, just like last time. And then we'll have a little discussion about it as well. So, starting off with the first one I asked, or the last one I asked actually, how much time do you think mums should have for themselves? The options were as much as they need, a set time each week, none, or whatever fits around the family schedule. And we got 46 people that voted on this. So what do you think this said?
Well, I'd say whatever fits around the family schedule.
Okay. Why do you think that?
It's going to be a different amount for everyone, isn't it? It depends on what your family dynamics are like and who's there to support with that. So,
I potentially think there could be an element of them all. So having a set time each week, that might be beneficial for the family, depending on the family. If it fits around the family schedule, then great. Some people might not have one. So, but it was as much as they need that got the most votes. 50% of the people who voted for as much time as they need. Whatever fits around the family schedule was second with 35%. Nobody voted for mums should have no time, so that's good. The next one was, how many hours on average a week do you have as you time or wellness? So this was actually asked to the Instagram, the people on the Instagram, specifically about themselves. So how many hours on average a week did they have as their you time or to use for wellness? So the options were none, 30 minutes, 1 to 3 hours, or as much as you can. So obviously it's average.
Sorry, what was the second one again?
It was none, 30 minutes, 1 to 3 hours, or as much as I can.
Well, as much as I can, because that could be anything, couldn't it?
Again, this is a bit of a strange one, but it was 53 votes and 47 people, or 47%, sorry, of the people said 1 to 3 hours. So they're very sort of specific, but they maybe just averaged it out in their heads as what they thought roughly they get maybe each week. I probably spend about 1 hour, or I go to the gym twice a week for half an hour, and then I get my nails done once a month for an hour. So that maybe averages out to an hour and a half a week or something. But we only got, it was 26% for none. So there was quite a lot of people on there that said that they don't have any time in the week for them. As much as I can was 21% and 30 minutes was 5%. I would say I would have voted for as much as I can, because I would take as much time as I can for myself, that whatever's going to work kind of thing, I suppose. But yeah, that was a bit of a strange one that everyone kind of specified it, but anyway, never mind. What else did we get? So the next one off the back of thinking about that then was, what kind of things do you do for self-care or wellness? The options were exercise, beauty, craft or DIY, on relaxation. I kind of wished after I'd done this, they don't let you have more than 4 options on Instagram poll. But I kind of wish I'd done one that was like spending time with friends and family. But then I also think you shouldn't have to, like, your wellness time shouldn't necessarily be you having to go and see other people. So maybe I'm kind of glad that I didn't do that. But it also probably potentially would be what a lot of people would use for their wellness. But what do you think most people said? 51 answers on this.
So there was. So sorry, say them again.
Exercise, beauty, craft or DIY, and relaxation.
I would say probably exercise or beauty. We'll go exercise because that could be anything, including walking the dog, couldn't it?
Why do you think that's what most people do or would do?
Because it's a bit of escapism and it's boosting your serotonin levels and it's good for your health and well-being, isn't it?
It's probably what I would have chosen for myself. If I do get sort of in the day 30 minutes that I can spare, I'd go and do like a HIIT workout or go for a run or a walk or something. But I do also kind of like to do some beauty stuff and some relaxation, some DIY, I suppose. Relaxation was the most amount of votes. So there was 62% of the people that voted said relaxation is what they choose. I suppose, again, it probably creates quite a broad thing, doesn't it? So you could probably say some people will go for like a massage and that's their relaxation. Other people will literally just sit and watch a bit of TV or just sit down or go for a nap or something like that. Suppose that counts as relaxation, doesn't it? Or have a bath, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about a bit more specific.
Yeah, like a proper massage, like type thing.
Yeah, or meditation or something.
Yeah. I also kind of think like it tends to be the Instagrammy stuff tends to be a lot of like exercise and relaxation and stuff rather than maybe like the crafting DIY is probably would more seem like a job to some people than it would like self-care. As soon as you think self-care, people might think about calming down rather than sort of DIY doing stuff. But then some people do like that. We did get votes. We've got 6% of people did vote for that. So there's definitely some out there. I then asked, how important do you think that self-care or wellness is? So the options were not important at all, hugely important, or one of many important things as a mum.
One of the many important things as a mum.
What's your thought process behind that?
Because it's about looking after you so that you're well and healthy enough to be a good mum. Because if you don't look after you, you're not in a position to look after anyone else.
Well, thankfully nobody voted for it's not important at all. We got 48 votes here and 58%, so it was close, but 58% of people voted for one of many important things as a mum. But 42% voted for hugely important. So I think I probably would have voted for hugely important. I think, yes, it's one of many important things as a mum, but I also think it should be a priority. There's probably other things that are important as a mum that aren't as important, maybe. And I just think maybe it takes away from it a little bit, just saying one of them, but the many important things. It makes it sound like it's on the long list of things to do, which it probably is. But maybe makes it sound like it's not as prioritised, maybe. So after those votes then, I then put out just a question. So I asked, why do you think well-being is important? So I'll read out the answers and then we'll have a little chat about it. So yeah, the question was, why do you feel that well-being or self-care is important? A lot of them kind of focused around, so it's for mental health, to be a better person for everyone, but most importantly for your own mental health. So Yeah, I agree with that one. I think a lot of mental health's quite like an open spoken about thing now, isn't it? And obviously a lot of people are beginning to prioritize that, and obviously self care is really linked to that. Um, People also said that it was linked to their family. So people said, in order to be a good mum, um, you can't pour from an empty cup. You're better able to cope with life and stresses um, if your cup is filled. And happy mums create positivity and can spread that back to their family as well. And you have to do it to be your best as a parent. So, do you agree with that? Do you think that it's not just for your own mental health, but makes you actually be a better parent and a better family member?
Well, of course it does. If you're feeling better in yourself, you're going to be a nicer person to be around for everyone else. And you need to look after your own well-being before you can look after anyone else's.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Um, People said as well that it's actually good as a role model. So if you're doing it, then your children are likely to do it as well. And if it is really important for mental health, we teach them about taking vitamins and healthy eating and exercise to look after themselves physically, but do you need to be showing them how to look after themselves mentally as well? And obviously, if you're taking care of your mental health and prioritizing looking after yourself and self-care and stuff, then they're going to copy doing that as well, aren't they? So I
Yep.
think that's a good one. um Somebody also said to release endorphins. I like that. I like endorphins. The second question that I asked then was, what's your biggest motivator to make sure that you prioritize self care or mental health, wellness, that kind of thing? What's your motivator for that? A lot of people said their kids. So somebody said their little boy. Somebody said to be a good role model, to be the best version of me. That's motivates. What motivates them is knowing that it makes them a better version of themselves, and if they're happy, their kids are happy. But then also, actually, to be fair, there was quite a few people that mentioned about also not just for their kids but for their family and friends as well. So a lovely one said, and also so that I can be the best mum, but also the best wife, sister, and daughter. And somebody else said, um, my family, making sure that I live a good long life for them as well. What's your biggest motivator to make sure that you prioritize some self care? Because it's a weird one now, because it's what you don't like your children and not at home. Like you don't have to factor it in. You've got sort of more space, I guess, to prioritize that because you're not kind of doing like daily mum things. I don't really often need feeding or put into bed sometimes after a few wines, but so how do you still make sure that you prioritize it now? Because it's not like about snatching 30 minutes here and there, is it? Like you could get away with just not doing it and not actually, you sort of have to find different motivators, don't you?
I think I've learned over the years how important it is in terms of things like food and exercise and just general nutrition. I think if I, um, it's almost likening it to having an absolute skinful and having a massive hangover and feeling crap the next day. And for me, the hangover's probably about 3 days now. So I think that can happen with food as well now. For me, um, if I go out and eat loads of crap, if I have McDonald's or pizza or some sort of
I've never seen you eat a
nasty
McDonald's in
foods,
years.
then I feel rubbish the next day. It's like a junk food hangover. So just learning from that and realizing that if you put quality fuel in, you're gonna work better.
Mhm.
And exercise. Obviously, at the moment, I can't do a great deal, but uh, walking just makes you feel better. Makes you feel better
Mhm.
once you've been on a good long walk, a good long stomp about.
So, like the motivating of the feeling of knowing how rubbish you feel if you don't do it, that's your motivator to do it.
That's part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
a big part of it.
Mhm.
Um,
But then also knowing how
and all,
good it feels to motivate you in the same way.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also the fact that yeah, you're kind of grown up and can more or less look after yourself.
95%.
Yeah. Um, but I've got Ollie to think of now, so
Mhm.
I want to be around for him
Mhm.
and not be the be grandma who can go and do things and
Mhm.
run about after him and
I suppose everybody with children's in that same position, that it might seem a long way off for a lot of people on the Instagram, a lot of people that follow the group, because majority of people that we have on there do have younger children, but it's absolutely something that's potentially going to happen. I mean, the chances of us all becoming grandparents now are pretty high. So yeah, it's about, like, one of the quotes on here where somebody had said making sure that they live a good long life. So you want to be around for a long period of time, but you want to be around and active and able as well, don't you, for your children and for potential grandchildren, to be able to support them with things when they're older and things like that as well.
it comes around quicker than you think.
Absolutely, yeah. And there was actually what somebody who'd said on here that their mum didn't practice very much self care, and they want their children to know that it's okay to do that. So I think that's another important factor as well, is that a lot of people maybe have the viewpoint that self care is a little bit selfish, which it is, but it's an important bit of being selfish. Sometimes it's good to be selfish, and you want your kids to know that they don't need to grow up thinking mum's just always there and sitting there being a mum and doing whatever. They need to know that you're a person, and they need to know that actually it's okay to go and do things for yourself, and to actually not just do it, as and when, but to specifically say, like, no, do you know what, I'm going to do this today. So, like, now I've got my Apple Watch, and I'm very very motivated for my Apple Watch. But like, I will make sure I get at least 30 minutes of exercise a day. And if that means saying I'm going to do it on a morning, Ollie sits and watches his tablet, or yesterday I was doing it with him. Anybody who follows my husband on Instagram will have seen me skipping in my uh, in my house and Ollie dancing next to me, um, and kind of making sure that he's there and he's aware and he can see. I'm gonna get that 30 minutes, and he, whether wherever and however that fits into our day, but I'm gonna make sure that I do that, because that's important for me. I feel rubbish on a night if I haven't done it, if I've not closed my ring. But I also feel rubbish as well, because I feel bad about anything I've eaten that's bad, because I think, oh well, I haven't worked that off, and so it's non-negotiable that I will do that. Um, one of the feedback on here again says, I'm only good to go when I'm okay. So it's a must, and I won't negotiate me time. And I absolutely think you shouldn't have to negotiate it. Like, it should be standard that that's what you do.
There's only one person that you can 100% rely on in your life that's going to be there every day of your life, and that's you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have that guarantee from anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you've got to look after yourself, haven't you?
Absolutely. Another little interesting one as well. Somebody said that work is a motivator for them. She also said, sorry for more answers. Never be sorry for more answers. Always do as many answers. Um, but yeah, work is a motivator for her, because she works really long shifts, and she needs to have that chill to balance out that. So that's another really important one. If you're working really hard, you can't just be working and then coming home and doing mum stuff, and then working and then going home and doing mum stuff. Like, you've got to balance out the stresses with some downtime. And like, I know this person, And I've seen like on her social media, she is very much for kind of like massages and reflexology and wellness and that kind of side of things. So that from like a chaotic, you are anonymous when you put these questions on, but she works in healthcare. So from how chaotic that is to a very, very calm sort of environment, is really important for that kind of like high level stress at work, which a lot of people have. So that's all of the questions that we went through. So I just wanted to pick your brains really then. Tell me a bit about any kind of self-care or wellness that you did practice when I was younger then. If you can journey back that long, nearly 30 whole years.
Um, I don't think it was much of a priority. It was as much of a priority then. You weren't kind of pushed into doing things for yourself in the same way as you are now. Self care, well being, those things weren't really as talked about as they are now.
It's
And it was
rammed down your neck
certainly,
on social media now, isn't it?
yeah. Well, there wasn't any social media. I think it
Telly was
was.
black and white as well.
Shut up. Um, I think I knew. Um, I knew that there were things that made me feel better, that made me be able to switch off. And I think when you're a single mum, it's a bit harder as well because you can't just think, oh, I'll just go for a walk when little one's in bed. It's frowned upon. So you can't kind of do those things. You can't think, oh, I'll just nip to the gym for half hour after tea unless you get childcare sorted. So I think I kind of leant towards arty things, so creative stuff. That was my outlet. That was my, and still is. And I think I feel a bit hard done to if I haven't had any creative stuff to do for a long time. I feel like something's missing.
Yeah, I think that's what I would have said, like from what I kind of remembered from growing up as what I would have classed your like sort of self-care as. Definitely would have just been a lot of sort of like DIY or like crafty, creative kind of making stuff. And obviously I suppose that's like it's in the family as well. I imagine that's probably what you watched your mum do was her kind of self-care. Unfortunately, it didn't sort of transpire down. I mean, I can do the odd thing, but not quite to the sort of levels that you did. I must have been watered down. Also, my dad's super creative, so I don't know
I'm
what
not
happened to me.
quite. I think maybe we picked the wrong one up or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, no, I think I was swapped at birth. Somebody else in the
Um,
hospital's actually an artist somewhere. Um, but yeah, I think I would remember that that's kind of what you did. Do you think that's similar or different to now? Do you think that you do anything differently now that I'm older?
um, well, I've got um, more time to do things that I want to do without restrictions, I guess. Because I don't need to worry about who's looking after you.
And the
Um,
mum guilt can come with it as well, like massively. I think probably anybody who's like watching or listening now will be able to sort of refer like to the mum guilt where if you do feel like you've done an awful lot for yourself in the day, that you can then feel really guilty about it because you feel like you've done not too much, but like sort of I've been like if you went for a spa day, I've spent the whole day in a spa day. I could have spent that whole day with my child, and like even though it's like a special type of guilt because you don't want to take it back, but you also do want to take it back. You kind of want to split yourself in half and take half to the spa and take the other half to the soft play. But like, so obviously, like, yeah, now you don't have to think like, oh, I can't really go for a long walk because I'll feel bad on Jess. Because
yeah, there's that. Um, and I think it.
the last place I want to go is a soft play. Don't ever feel guilty for not taking me there.
There wasn't as much stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
when you were little either. You've got like you just have to go on social media and there's reams of stuff you can do. And
Mm-hmm.
if you think, what can I do to entertain my child today? There's just so much.
Oh God, yeah,
Whereas
almost too much.
when you were a kid, like soft play things were there was a couple of pubs that had soft play areas, so you'd go for a Sunday dinner and things, but not a huge amount. And then it'd just be the park
Mm-hmm.
pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like with social media though, like I was listening to another podcast. There are others out there. Yeah, we'll just don't bother with them. But on another one, I was listening to, they were basically saying that there's this like the talk on social media. It's talked a lot about wellness and self care and all this kind of thing, but it's almost become competitive. So this like competitive need to be more better, like more well than other people, and this thing like yeah, I always watch them. I don't know why I watch them, but I watch those like share a morning with me things, and it's like got up at 25 past 4 and read 10 pages of my book for like and then the next thing's like then I had some water and meditated, and then I went to the gym, and then they've done all of this thing before they've even like before I've even opened an eyeball. And like it's so competitive to be like, look, I am so well. Like it's there we go. Yeah, like it's so overly competitive to be better, and I just don't. I think that can be too much, really. I think your wellness needs to be subjective to you. If you do something and it makes you feel good, then do it. But you don't have to do 85 bits of wellness in one day before you've even breathed. There's a couple and they get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they go to bed when their kids go to bed, and they do it so that they can do all the wellness stuff. But like, so they were like, oh, share a morning with us. We get up at 3. Um, and they like had like half an hour to catch up about our day and lives and stuff. So because they need to value their relationship and that.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, share a day with me and we get up at 3 o'clock. I'll share a day with you. You do whatever, I'll stay asleep.
Yeah, like I'm not.
That's my share. And so I'm happy with that.
It's crazy. Like, I'm sorry, I've just checked out. I said, tell you what, Aaron, I'll see you when Ollie's 18. We'll catch up then. Like, if the choices are we don't catch up or we catch up at 3 a.m., can we not just get a babysitter and catch up once a month or something? Like, I don't need to be catching up with you at 3 a.m. Like, it's crazy, but that was there, like, as part of our wellness thing. So after they've caught up, then they do all the house cleaning and then, like, do, like, a Pilates or something. But then they're going to bed when the kid goes to bed. It's crazy. Like, it's just so competitive to be well now.
There's not really any switch off time in the evening. For me, I think that balance is needed. So I think you do need a bit of a get child in bed and then a big sigh of relief and like chill now for a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well,
yeah, I can see the getting up before the child thing. Yeah, whatever works, I guess.
yeah, like, I mean, listen, if they are absolutely buzzing at 3 o'clock in the morning and going to bed at 7 o'clock, it is nobody's business but their own. But it is a mad world to live in. But then you always worry on social media, like, do they actually get up at 3 o'clock in the morning? Is that just something they've put on TikTok to get loads of likes and stuff? Like,
Mm.
I prefer the more realistic ones of like, this is what I do for my well-being. I get up, have some nice breakfast, take my kid to wherever they need to go to, do a little bit of exercise and crack on with work, because that's what maybe majority of people are doing, or they're going to work and they're doing a bit of exercise when they come in, or it's a little bit more realistic. And there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with promoting well-being. Absolutely, that's fine, but obviously just realistic. But like with anything on social media, it just has to get better and better, and people have to do more when well-being than others, and then I have to do even more, and my well-being has to be even more, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's subjective to individuals, isn't it, and how much time they've got, and like it's going to depend on how many kids you've got as well. Like, I imagine I've probably got more time for doing well-being things than maybe somebody who's got 3 kids or 4 kids has, or I've got more time than like my sister-in-law has because she's got 2 kids. Like, so there's a little bit of like it's individualized to each person, isn't it?
Of course it is, and some people prefer a small amount of very high quality well-being time to sort of more less quality.
Yeah, and like it's like I say, a lot of people, it's what you want to do as well. So a lot of people will be like, well, the idea of doing a hit workout for 20 minutes does not scream self care to me. I would rather be in the bath or having a nap or whatever. So it's just what works for each person, but it absolutely should be prioritized. I don't think anybody should ever feel guilty for that either. It's important because it's going to make you a better mum as well. Like, people used a lot of phrases a lot in the feedback of like filling up their cup, which I quite like, is quite a nice thing. People have said it on social media quite a lot, I think. But it is really important because you can't pour from an empty cup, so you've got to go and fill it up. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, is it?
Yeah, but I think about the people on TikTok
Mm-hmm.
saying they're up at 3 o'clock, and it made me think of like Monty Python's Yorkshireman sketch where like we had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, an hour like before we went to bed, and and do this, and it's just like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's good because I often use it as a bit of a motivator. Like, it's when you go on TikTok and it's really nice and it's very aesthetic and it's really nice to see like what people are doing on there and kind of what it's sort of like, getting at little ideas and things. That's the point of social media, really, isn't it? Everyone's sort of sharing good practices and stuff, and getting ideas of how they fit in exercises and things like that. But it does just get so super competitive that everyone has to be like the most well-being in the entire world and all that kind of thing. I think don't let that bit get to you, and just do whatever it is, however much kind of well-being you can fit in and that works for your family as well. And just make sure that it's evident as well. I suppose the only problem as well with these 3 a.m. chats that they're having, your kids not seeing it, are they? So they're not getting the benefit of knowing that well-being's important. Because if you're just doing it all behind their back, then they are just going to think that all you do is be a mum, and then they're not learning anything from you.
I think a lot of it's probably not real, or probably not true anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think social media is such a fake, um, a fake thing to look at a lot of the time as well. I mentioned it last time about seeing this, happy couple with a little child and like the 3,500 Christmas presents behind them and a 16-foot Christmas tree and whatever, and a lot of it's not real. So these people will spend ages setting up this scenario so that they can show people, this is what well-being's about, this is what you need to do, this is what I do, look at me, blah blah blah, before they like do this amazing exercise regime followed by yoga and a glass of
Chai latte or matcha normally.
I was gonna say like mud tea or something.
Probably. Green juice.
And then as soon as they like switch the camera off, they're like, right, I'm gonna go for a Mackey's and get us a can of Stella.
And that can be wellness as well. Like, there's no harm in that as well.
Yeah, no, but they're not going to promote that, are they? They're not going to be. They're not going to be promoting that. They're going to be promoting the healthy food, exercise, and drinking, spring water and nothing else. And
but actually, a massive part of well-being can just be getting a big fat takeaway, sitting on the sofa with you and your fella, and putting like a binge in a box set. Like, that can be well-being if it's not something that you do regularly, and you're going to specifically make the time to do that because you want to spend some time with your partner, you want to relax, you want to just switch off and watch whatever your favourite program is and turn your phone off and whatever. then that can be absolutely be well-being. And like you don't have to be necessarily even being healthy to be for wellness. I mean, like in a sense that you do. I think if you have a pizza every night, you can't just say, "Oh, it's for my well-being." But like on the odd occasion, making an occasion of something like that can
No,
be for your
absolutely.
well-being, can't it?
But they're not the things that people are going to put on social media so much. It's not going to be,
Mm,
look at me slobbed out in my in my jammers with a big greasy pizza on the
mm,
sofa. It's not going to be something that people are going to promote so much.
yeah. And like it's like I say, it's whatever works for you. And like a lot of people don't like exercise, or they don't enjoy it, or it's just not something that they're particularly into. They maybe choose to be healthy in different ways. It doesn't have to be things like diet and exercise that necessarily are what works for you to make you feel better. It can be like you said, like crafty stuff or relaxation or whatever. It's a priority thing, isn't it? It's whatever people's priorities are. And if that's like I say, but I do think it's important to do it in like have that visible to your children. I mean, obviously, I know practicalities sometimes will have to be when the kid's in bed, you're gonna do your exercise or whatever to be able to fit it into your day, because once they're up, it's like get them ready and get them to school or whatever. But on the weekends, there's, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with doing some exercise, like, with your child in the room, or saying to them, right, I'm gonna go and go on my treadmill or whatever. Do you wanna, have some time on your tablet or iPad or whatever? Or saying to them, we're gonna go out on a walk because I want to get some fresh air. I need to get out today, I want to get my steps in or whatever, and being like fully vocal and transparent with your kids so that they actually get to see that bit of what self-care looks like. And eventually when they're old enough, even just explaining to them, like, so Ollie was saying to me the other day when I was doing that hit workout, um, where I was skipping with a non-skipping rope, and he was dancing with me, and he was like, "Why are you doing that? What's that for?" And I was like, "Oh, well, it's exercise and it's good for you and it makes you feel stronger." And he was like, "Do you do it all the time?" So I try to, and like he was quite like intrigued to know about it. So like, there's nothing wrong with like me informing them. And then I was like saying to him, I was like, it's like you going swimming or playing football, and like, or if you do that when you're older, and like daddy plays football and all that kind of thing. And like, we're quite transparent with going out and doing things for ourselves, so that Ollie's aware of that as well.
It's about them finding out what you're about as well, isn't it? Learning things about you. Mummy enjoys doing this, daddy enjoys doing that, and
Yeah.
I enjoy doing whatever. So
Mm-hmm. But you want, ultimately, as a parent, you want the best for your child, and you want your child to turn out to be a good person. And everybody, like kids, like to copy. They like to mimic what they see. And if you are prioritizing your well-being, doing things for yourself, then they're gonna do that, in an appropriate way when they get older. And that's what you want from them, isn't it? Ultimately, you want your kids to be doing what's best for them and doing good things for them as well.
yep.
Okie dokie. Well, if you've enjoyed listening to our rambles again today, please like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media, so hashtag mumslifeme, and the YouTube is the same, so hashtag mumslifene, and wait for episode 3. Also, join in on social media on any of the polls that we do have. Thank you again to everybody who did. We do appreciate you giving us something to pick apart. So make sure that you keep doing that, and keep interacting with us, and then we can keep doing random ramblings on the pink sofa. Thanks.
Bye.